when last did you hear about the condition called tuberculosis? Of course, we're inching closer and closer to the World Day dedicated to the celebration and creation of awareness around that condition. And we're being joined in studio now by David Afreh, who's, of course, the board chair for Stop TB Partnership Ghana. And it's such a pleasure to have you in studio. The last time, and I must confess that we've heard even someone talk about TB, well, I don't even recall. Maybe COVID-19 has taken over this whole show, but we're going back to it, and that's why I'm excited. For those of us who may have lost track of the condition, what's this whole tuberculosis condition?
Well, tuberculosis is an airborne disease, just as COVID, like we mentioned earlier.
Right.
And it, of course, attacks any part of the body, but most predominantly the lungs. And this is a situation that is very prevalent in Ghana. Our prevalence survey suggests that in every 100,000 Ghanaians, you find about 200 people who are with active tuberculosis among those populations. And so in Ghana, it's expected that we will be finding about 44,000 persons.
44,000?
Yes, annually. Annually.
Oh, that's just within a year?
Yeah, within a year. Within every year, we expected to find that figure. And unfortunately, we have not been able to achieve that target of finding such numbers every year. The highest we have had so far is to find about 16,000, just a little above 1/3 of that global target, national target. And so it's a disease that is a killer disease, but it has a cure. And so it is important for us to create more and more awareness. Let me say good afternoon to my global chair or vice chair, Chief Obiefuna, and then Dr. Lucika, who is the secretary director of the Stop TB Partnership with office in Geneva.
So you're talking about 44,000 cases. What may have kept us out of, focusing on the condition, trying to create more awareness? Was it the case that, well, we had an uptick in the COVID cases, a reason for which we shifted priority over the last few years?
TB has been with us for so many years. Tuberculosis is even recognized at the United Nations General Assembly. At a point in time around the 1990s, it was declared a global emergency, and that we needed to make sure that we take serious actions at country level to ensure that we're able to curb the situation. It is important to note at this point that in 2018, we had the United Nations high-level meeting on tuberculosis, where our own President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, was present to sign on to certain commitment and target for Ghana. And so, since, in fact, given this target, we're expecting that by 2022 ending, you would have brought in a lot of energy that is putting TB on his own political agenda to be able to drive resources towards ending TB by 2030. And so we want to call on him at this juncture to remind him that, Mr. President, you have been to the United Nations in 2018. You have had commitment on the number of cases you'll be finding, the political actions you're supposed to take before we get to 2022. You haven't done that. Resources, about 3 people die every day again of tuberculosis in this country. We have not bought all the logistics that we need to have to cover the whole country for easy access to diagnosis. Sometimes there are shortages of cartridges that are used to do this diagnosis. So it is critically important for him to bring his own political assent onto the fight against tuberculosis.
And if we're to reset our priorities, where should the focus go?
Yeah, it is screening. We need to do screening. Okay? Once you have diagnosis, logistics, cartridges and X-ray machines that can diagnose childhood TB, diagnose adults, and you have it all over the country, and you are empowering civil society to work in collaboration with the Ghana Health Service at the district levels, you are able to curb the situation. So what we do now, even as civil society, to ensure we support the government, is to go to hard-to-reach communities where the peripheries of government structures cannot get to. And so we are able to screen communities, we are able to collect sputum of these presumed persons that supposed to be TB, and then we take them to the laboratory, helping them cut down catastrophic costs of becoming aware of your status and then getting treated. And so we need government, we need the president to come. Look, if we are talking about resources, we need a presidential action. Can the president call a business forum for TB, where we bring the oil players, the media players, and the banks, and wherever, so that we all play to the country, the situation we have at hand, and the resources that are needed. Let's see how we can galvanize everybody around the table.
Individual awareness, how do we bring that on board as well? Individual awareness, yeah.
Oh yes, so this is where we use the mass media. Maybe this is the first time I've come to your studio, but we have worked with most of the partners around on TV, on radio, and there are house-to-house education that go on. That is what the civil society partners in the country, coming from the Stop Tea Partnership Ghana, do. So there we are. You have community-level radios. You have even community information centers that are being used. Maybe what is important is how much resources can we pump into strengthening these community-based organizations, and that is what is also deficient. Because as we speak, the government by itself is not able to push money into TB. It is a global fund that has been supporting us here and there to be able to do what we do now. And that is why we are not able to achieve the target that we are supposed to achieve.
If you're leaving us with a message, and particularly for our viewers, what would they need to know about?
It's important for everybody to know in Ghana that TB is curable. This year, 24th of March, we are going to launch the World TB Celebration. I'm giving the awareness today to tell every Ghanaian that if you are coughing for 24 hours and you don't seem to understand what is happening to you, just walk into any facility and ask for tuberculosis diagnosis. They will help you. You will not pay anything. And if you are diagnosed, the treatment is free. You can be on your treatment for a number of months, and it's absolutely free. It is a killer disease. You need to get to know your status early enough, get treated, and adhere to treatment if you are diagnosed positive. It's critically important.
Okay then.
This way we can end TB by 2030.
Indeed, and we hope to meet that target. Thank you for joining us here. And of course, that's all we have for you here on The Pulse. I'm Blessed Sugan Logan to myjoyonline.com.